have an awesome and easy Mediterranean olive oil cake to show you today. I learned this recipe in Sicily where they served it consistently at breakfast with beautiful fruit, a little powdered sugar on top. It was heaven. So I want to show you how to make it with a stand mixer or a hand mixer. You can make this cake by hand using a whisk, but it's going to take a long time and a lot of effort. You won't have to go to the gym that day, but it's easy to make with a stand or hand mixer. So I'm going to start with the dry ingredients, and the dry ingredients aren't very many. I've got about 1.5 cups of flour here. You can use whole wheat pastry flour, which you know I love. You could use all-purpose flour. You could also use gluten-free flour, and I'm sharing this cake with some gluten-free friends today. So I'm using gluten-free flour. I'm using the Bob's Red Mill gluten-free mix. And I've got about 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and then about 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt here. So that's all just gonna go in a bowl. I'm gonna whisk it up a little bit and get ready to put my wet ingredients in my mixer. Now, in cakes and things like that, when you're making a batter, sometimes wet ingredients include sugar, because your sugar is going to actually dissolve into your eggs. And I'm using 3 large eggs here. And I want to show you, look at the color of those egg yolks. Aren't they gorgeous? When you are adding eggs to a batter like this, if you'll go ahead and whisk them up a little bit, they will incorporate with your other ingredients faster and easier. So all I did was whisk them a little bit. These are pasture-raised eggs, and they are delicious. Okay, so, and pretty too. So there goes my eggs. I'm going to start my mixer, and then I'm going to put in about 1/2 cup of sugar. Now I love the raw sugar. Believe it or not, when I went to the grocery store today, they were all out of raw sugar. So I'm just using a little bit of organic cane sugar. So it's not quite as brown or unprocessed. I'm gonna put my mixer on kind of high speed, and I'm gonna let it mix for about a minute. That will allow the sugar and the eggs to kind of incorporate and get really well mixed. So, oh my gosh, you know, sometimes when you see me cream the eggs or cream the sugar and butter together, it becomes light. The same thing is happening with these eggs with the yolks that have a little fat in them and the sugar. So this is getting a little bit lighter in color. My next ingredient is the namesake of this cake, and that is the olive oil. So I've got about 1/2 cup of olive oil here. I'm using the California Olive Ranch olive oil. We'll talk about that in another video. But it's going to go right in, and I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to slowly incorporate my olive oil in there. I don't want to do it too quickly because I really want to get it mixed in with that egg yolk and sugar mixture. So there goes, and I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. There goes my olive oil right in there. And then just a couple other wet ingredients, including about 1/2 cup of oat milk. And I'm using oat milk today, kind of on an oat milk kit, because it's creamy and it's delicious. You could use any kind of plant-based milk, or you could use skim milk as well. So there goes my oat milk. And then I have 2 more ingredients that are wet. I have about 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and I have about 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. It's going right in there. Okay, now it's time for my dry ingredients. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stop my mixer and pull my bowl down. I'm gonna put in probably about 1/3 of my dry ingredient in there. Come on, honey. There we go. All right, I'm gonna get it off the beater. And I'm just gonna mix it long enough there goes 1/3. Here goes 2/3. And when you're making breads or pastries or cakes with baking soda or baking powder like we're doing today, what you want to do is not mix it too much because it can make it tough. So then finally, I've got the rest of my flour right in there. Okay. Here we go. And now I'm going to just quickly make it incorporated well. And what I have, I've prepared a springform baking pan for my cake. So I need to do that. So I'm going to grab my springform and I'm turning off my batter. And I should have really done this ahead of time. But here is my cake pan, and now I'm going to put some parchment paper in it. So I'm going to grab my parchment right here, and I'm going to line my cake pan with my parchment. So I'm just going to show you quickly. It's like origami. So I'm doing it down the middle, and then on the sides. So basically I'm folding it 8 times. It's gonna look like this when I get it finished. I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna take my parchment, I'm gonna put it in the middle of my pan, and then I'm gonna take my fingernail and just make a little mark there so I know where to cut. And then once I cut it, set that aside. Look at this, people. Yay! Gonna go right in the bottom of my pan. And that's it. That is absolutely all you have to do to make a parchment round. You don't have to get out your pen and do it around the cake pan. Now again, I'm using springform and I love springform pans. If you have a regular cake pan, this cake will come out of it easily. Just need to make sure you grease and then put in a, I'm using olive oil spread, and then put in a parchment liner. That's what I call insurance. So here we go. I'm going to take out my batter. I'm gonna pop it into my greased pan, just like this. Oh my gosh, you guys, with that extract, it smells so good. I'm gonna put it into a 350-degree oven. And I will tell you, I've made this cake so many times at home now. I know that it takes, in my oven, 28 minutes. It might take 30 minutes or 32 minutes in your oven, but it's a 350 preheated oven. So it's going right in, and while it's in cooking, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to my cake that I just took out earlier. So this is what it looks like. It's a 1-layer cake. It's beautiful. It smells great. It doesn't smell like olive oil. It smells like almonds and vanilla and yummy baked goods. So look what I have to put on top. Some of the beautiful peaches. Haven't the peaches been gorgeous this year? And they've tasted so good. So I'm just gonna put some peaches all over the top of my cake. There we go. I've got a few guys here that are trying to run away. So I'll take them and put them up here. And then to finish my cake off, I just have some powdered sugar right here. And I'm just gonna knock the powdered sugar all over the top of the cake. And that is the Mediterranean olive oil cake. You could certainly use any kind of berries. Actually, you don't even have to top it with anything, but I love putting just the gorgeous berries. The cake is rich and moist and easy. I hope you enjoy it. We do here, and I hope to see you again soon in the Healthy Kitchen.